About a year ago, I started releasing music on Spotify, and one of the first and best songs that I uploaded at the time was Ant Farm. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I made it. Just some quick background information. I started making music about 2 to 3 years ago just as a hobby, but I didn't release any music publicly until February last year, and this was one of the first songs that I released. Okay, so this is the project file for Ant Farm. Yeah, I guess let's dig into it. So I guess I should start with the first thing that you hear in the track, which is this little vinyl crackle. Just gives it some little texture. So that kind of opens up the track, and then we get this bass right here that goes. Yeah, nothing too crazy there, and then we get this pad right here. There's only 2 notes. There's C5. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. And then in addition to the bass and the pad, we get this piano right here. It's kind of this like broken toy sounding piano. That's kind of the main melody for the first half of the song before the rest of the melodies kick in. The piano doesn't come in right away. It kind of just ramps up and then eventually and that's when the beat comes in. We got this kick and we got this snare. So nothing crazy, really simple. Now, later on, we do switch it up. We get a different snare that kind of hits a little harder for the second half of the song. But that's not until way later, and it blends in a lot better with the second half of the song. So now, altogether, so far, what we got is... And about, like, a minute into the song, we get this bass guitar that comes in. And it's this just super crunchy guitar. I think I bit crushed. I pretty much just put a bunch of effects on it to get it to sound like super messed up. Normally it sounds like this. And we put some destruction on it. And then we bit crush it. Pretty much the whole theme of this song is bit crushing. Like, I bit crushed practically everything that you hear in this song. There's bit crusher on the piano, bit crusher on the bass, and then we get this secondary piano coming in here at around 1.5 minutes, and this kind of ramps up to the second half of the song. And then with that all together, we get pretty cool stuff. Now, originally, when I first made this song, that was it. That was all there was. It was just that first 2 minutes, and then it just kind of had a little outro, and then it ended. And I released that on my YouTube channel just as like a little casual, getting feedback, that sort of thing. And somebody told me that it was very anticlimactic. Like, it had this really cool build-up, and then I just didn't really do anything with it. I just ended the song there. So I went back, and I added this second half that's supposed to just be a lot more, intense, kind of makes it feel like the build-up was building to something, and I added in a bunch of synths, and that was kind of the main driver of intensity, so to speak. So we got 3 synths that get added in here in the second half. We got this first synth, and that's just copying, the same piano that we have over here, but instead it's on a synth that's kind of got a little bit of like going back and forth. I don't know what that's called. You would think I would know these things, but I don't. And then as it builds up, we add a few more synths. So we get this synth right here. Gives it a little bit more of a punch. Sounds pretty cool, pretty radical, if I do say so myself. And then we get this final synth that just kind of fills in the gaps. You don't really hear it that well underneath everything else. We also have that alternate snare that I mentioned earlier that packs a little more of a punch. And the kick is sidechained to like pretty much everything in the second half of the song. You know, the synths, some of the pianos, the pad. So whenever you hear the kick drum, everything else kind of ducks out just a little bit, and it gives it this little bit more of a punch. So yeah, so yeah, cool stuff. And then we get down here to the ending, we start to drop out. Bring the piano back in. And then we cut out, and it's just one piano and one synth. They're just playing the same thing. And then it just kind of crunches out. Yep, that's it. That's the whole song. So I first made this song on my main channel, actually, back when I posted music there. I put this song as just a little, you know, MIDI file type of video. But yeah, I don't really remember when this song came to be. I was just kind of messing around one day and I made this and I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm just going to put it on YouTube and see how people like it. And people liked it, so I ended up putting it on Spotify. It was one of the first songs I released on Spotify. You know, these were the first 5. And at the time, it was like by far my most popular song. Most of the other songs on here are pretty bad. I think that's why. But this is definitely the highlight from the first batch of songs that I put on Spotify. So yeah, that's Ant Farm. If you want to check it out on streaming services, I'll have some links in the description. And while you're at it, might as well listen to some of my other songs. I'm working on a new album, so stay tuned for that over the summer. And that's all I gotta say. See ya.